Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Fullcraft, and I've got fantastic news indeed. We've had endless problems with our power supply, and whatever I did in the last episode I've completely forgotten, but today I logged in and everything was fine. I'm not joking around, okay? Everything was better than fine. If we go into here, you can see that we have amassed a redonkulous amount of slime balls, and that's because our system has been running around the clock. I started to think that the chunk loaders weren't working, although that was based on something Iskall told me. Seems like they worked when I've been off for a few days. Now, if you followed me on Twitter, you would have known my internet went down over the weekend, and yeah, been away from Fullcraft for a few more days than I would have liked. But look at this, we've stockpiled a ginormous amount of slime balls. And this is interesting, this one, because this going down means that our slime farm is going to kick in and then that number's going to go back up. But we don't really need to rely on that anymore because we've got such an insane amount of these slime balls, which is really cool. But I'm making some modifications now because if we open these up, I need an empty hand. You'll see we put a redstone upgrade in there, and the reason why is because I want this system to stop after a certain amount of time. Also, when I open this up, the number changes and then eventually it'll go back, which is kind of strange. So around here we've got a little bit of redstone vanilla going on. There's probably a better way to do this with modded Minecraft, I know. You can see there's some items in there. So what we're doing is we're taking this redstone signal, which is dominated by this one over here, because the output is actually scaled to the amount of items that are in there, which is kind of cool. But the idea is that we reduce the size of the redstone signal, so if ever this were to go down a fair amount, then there wouldn't be enough slime balls for the system, and this thing would turn off. But let me show you where that signal goes to. It goes down to the little tree chopper in the middle, because this is where those slime balls are coming from. So you can see there's a dot of redstone. This thing's been configured to run without a redstone signal. And then down below here, I've just sort of whacked that thing in the middle of these capacitor banks. And now that thing's got that on that side, I'm going to change that, of course. But that's great news, isn't it? And my quarry has been running around the clock as well. So now we've got some diamonds again, which is terrific. And I'm hoping that we'll have some other materials as well. Some gold is what I'm after at the moment. So, yep, diamonds, 200 of those, excellent. And gold, yes, we've got loads more of this stuff. So in today's episode, I want to do a bunch of different things, and one of those is finish the area down the bottom. So I've been smelting up a bunch of alloys and crafting up the stuff that we need for some capacitor banks. These ones have a larger capacity than the ones we've used before, so hi, there we go. I want to work on this room over here, and we're kind of limited. With two of these blocks, the maximum output is 2,000. If we wanted to go faster than that, then we need a bigger capacitor bank, because all of the things in this room are going to be too high. And we're going to have the quarry in the middle of the room, and then around it on all the sides we are going to have the capacitor banks. And this is actually going to drop down by one block as well. In this room I want to go for a little bit of a cleaner look while keeping some of the blocks we've got already. And I want to get rid of the dirt. I do like the dirt, but I think as a path, maybe it wasn't the best of choices. We could still always change that if any of you have suggestions for something that would fit this room a little bit nicer, because it didn't quite work as well as the other room. Anyway, going to work on the roof here. Going to tie this over to the slime farm that we've got. You can see that's kind of made a giant window out of it, which is pretty cool. And I've been tidying up some of the stuff that's left over. We've got to move these nesting pens eventually. It's always a little bit tricky trying to figure out what you want to put in a room when the stuff that's already in there is kind of in the way at looking at the shape of it. But anyway, I really like this texture. I've used this before in the past. I like this one. We're going to use that on the floor, and I was looking for a complementary texture. Originally I picked out this one because it's kind of clean and we've already used it a little bit before, but it doesn't really work, and so I was looking through some other textures from the factory set. This grid right here would work, that one would work as well, this one not so much, and this one definitely fits the theme we're looking for. I want something very clean looking, and because it breaks away from the current theme, I was thinking what we would do is perhaps put in some sort of screens here. I've got an idea for that we'll do later, some sort of translucent animated texture that looks like a force field, and then we could have a molasses store that's all fancy and high tech. So this area is like sealed, and then that would explain the change in texture pretty well, I reckon. Again, these things being in the middle kind of make it a pain to look at the room. The floor I'm happy with, the sides look great. And there's a nice little nesting place for each of these things to go. It's a little bit dark at the moment, so we're going to need some light sources in the ceiling, and this bit here might change. But that's for the quarry at the moment, and I was just talking to Iskau about a way to display text. And apparently we can customize the colors of signs, so probably we're going to end up with a sign on top of this grate. But that's the way it's going at the moment. I think this layout looks really quite nice. And I did try a few other things, but I wasn't recording, so... Also... what is with the mobs in this area? There's loads of them down here. I was going to comment on it. So my magnum torch doesn't seem to be working because I constantly get harassed by mobs. And then there was a whole horde of zombies as well. Here we go. We got the shape of the room down. And I think the floor is kind of done. This thing's emitting light, I've just realised, which kind of illuminates the... whatever you want to call this, like the hazard. It's like a hazard texture, isn't it? It looks really cool. I like that. That is our quarry, which I did say I wanted to put in the middle of this. I think I might stack another one above it if we want to have two quarries, one for the nether, one for the overworld, something like that. Anyway, just filling in the floors here. I feel like that's all done now. For the roof, though, I've put this texture back in. I didn't feel like repeating this would be the way to go. We want to smooth that over, put in some light sources on the ceiling so it's not too dark in here, and then we're kind of done. I'm going to throw in a few more regular capacitor banks around the side, but when we do actually set these up properly, we want to have the full ones, which these three here are. So 3, 6, 12, and then an additional 5. That is 17 in total. If ever I need more than that, then I'm going to have to expand this room, but that'll do for now. So we've got capacitor banks on all sides, and as they're filling up, they're actually sucking out a lot of the juice from our system. So this thing is actually taking out more than it's receiving in, which is the same for the refined storage one, which is slightly worrying, but hopefully the rest of those will fill up. So anyway, there is a mod called More Signs, and I have not had the time to research anything on this, but it adds a bunch of signs that you can make with different textures from different blocks, and you need one of these to craft this toolkit right here, which is what Iskau recommended I use. So hold down left shift while right clicking to change, right click to edit. So let's try that then. Oh, we have a lot of fancy options here. So there it is. That's our sign. Not too keen on the texture, but we do have some options here. So maybe if we do the iron sign, it might have a nice flat texture, although it's probably got the Minecraft iron one. Be cool if we get one that matched this. But anyway, using this thing seems to just do the same thing if you hold down shift left click or you just right click on it. Brings up this screen right here, and as you can see, we've made some massive text here, and that's because when you type, you can increase and decrease the size. So let's put another one over here. This one is going to be, hang on, before we do that, two more things to show you. We've got a color selector, so white, nice and bright, and then we can make the text bold, and then we can type in refined storage. I wonder if there's going to be a limit here. There is, look at that. So we're going to have to make it on 2 lines. Refined storage. Now, here's where things get interesting, because we can increase the text size. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we want to move these up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Maybe a couple more. And there we go. We got a sort of custom sign with nice big text. Oh, I made that one black, did I? I could have swore I made that one white. Yeah, it really does pop out, doesn't it? I think that'll work. I think we just got to find the right texture here, and that'll be quite reasonable. That is a fancy looking, almost finished room. We'll come back to here later, as I did say I wanted to do something with these windows here, and the door as well. But settled on this sign over here. I like the quartz sign, it looks cool. It's very clean, which is what I wanted. The colour doesn't quite match the room, but that's fine, and we got our text, and this stuff is now ready to go, basically. But if you look up at the ceiling, you'll notice 3 different designs. One on the left, one in the middle, one on the right. And I would like you to vote on which one you want to keep up there, because I can't decide. So the left will be option 1, option 2 will be the middle, and the right will be option 3. There is a poll on your screen, right top of the corner of the screen, and all of that stuff. Yeah, so here's me moving around so you can get a good look. I couldn't make up my mind, basically. Anyway, we're going to head up top now, because we're going to start a new project. Oh, yes, we are. I had to go shut my window because there is a lorry outside. This is the Wastelands. To be fair, it's been quite some time since I've made progress around here. However, I have been chipping away at this space over here with the time that I've had, and you can see that actually removed a fair bit of sand. Now this location right below me is kind of ideal for the project I have in mind, which is to build a squid farm, because squids drop loot bags and they're probably going to spawn in vast numbers around here. What am I looking for? That thing, yes. And what is the button to link it? It's that one, I remember, yay! Let's start vein mining this stuff. So yeah, there's no water in this area. We've removed all of the water from the river. It's a desert as well, so it's kind of like the ideal environment for squids to spawn. And because they have their own mob cap, it means that they're going to spawn in large numbers, and that's another way for us to farm loot bags. And then yeah, I don't really need to explain it too much beyond there. Now this, what I'm looking at, is slightly disappointing because we need to go below a certain Y height, which is why I picked this area over here. If I press F3, that is 64. Literally where I'm floating right now, we would like the terrain to be lower than. So behind me is a good spot. But how big is that actually? It looks like it's not very big at all. And this is possibly all stone because of where the river biome is. So maybe what we do is create a bit of a fake mound around here. We put in our own stone and we kind of terraform it, or landscape it would probably be the better term to use, and then in there, in that space, we can build a squid farm. So that's looking pretty good. If I might say so, I'd be convinced that was natural. But there is one glaring flaw. Over on here it's a little bit more messy. Coal, copper, and occasionally iron a little bit lower down. Well, I brought some copper with me. I don't think I've got any coal ore, but we absolutely need to go around and just, in a couple of places, throw down some patches like that, and then it gives it a bit more of that natural feel, because you'd expect to see that, of course. You can see some of the inside in there. Let's pop in. There is an entrance just here. Won't be the entrance we use, though. Of course, we're going to use the teleporting system that we've employed in this base. Maybe that's the word you could use. So here's where the squid farm is going to be. I'm actually going to make it a little bit bigger than this, I reckon, and it starts a little bit lower as well. So the first thing is cleanup, and I would be tempted to use vein mine, right? But we've got to be very cautious here because we could accidentally vein mine the walls that we've just built. So I'm going to dig it down first a little bit before we try any of that. Look who it is. Someone's come by to pay a visit. It's not no normal witch, it's a wither witch. And you're with me right as I've taken you away. Well, that's mean. I don't know if she drops anything different, but we got one in a soul vial now, so maybe in the future we can do something with that. So this is going to be a very vanilla farm. Because you know me, I'm a vanilla player at heart. And here what we got is some dispensers, and from my inventory you can probably see that no, we're not going to use water, we're actually going to fill this stuff with lava. Can you believe it? And so the lava is going to flow out on the different sides around it, meaning that this is an efficient layout for covering most of this space. Now the reason that we're going with lava is because squids used to spawn in lava, and it was something that they sort of fixed several times during the snapshots, and I think eventually they actually got it right. But we're in 10.2 and I believe it may still be a thing in this version of the game. If not, we'll just redesign the top and use water instead. So yes, these squid will spawn in lava, and they will be set on fire, and then they'll fall to their death, and we'll collect the items. But what we're going to do over here is place down some signs. Now here's another little trick from vanilla that works in modded as well. If I hold down shift, then I click there, and then I press escape to get rid of this, but hold it down, it means I can place signs like that and automatically escape out, which is amazing because it makes everything a little bit quicker. So that covers everything, and eventually I'll upgrade this to something a little bit more modded. Some modded redstone with a wireless transceiver or something like that. Bam! There go the dispensers, and there goes the lava. Now there should actually be a little bit of a gap, and I believe that gap is this block here. So you can see the lava is unfortunately flowing right into our little space to go down. But if we go over here, there'll be a spot for us to fall down to the bottom. We don't set ourselves on fire, and there comes the lava, and it's going to stop on top of those signs, right? And hopefully those signs don't burn. They don't in vanilla, even though they're made out of wood. Okay, and where is our gap? Ah, our gap's gone. Of course it has. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to prepare ourselves for some lava. This could be really bad, actually, because I have very little durability on my armor left. Yes, we're not going to risk this one. And I accidentally shifted it up here. It's a thing that you can do. It makes you sleep. For some reason, I panicked. I thought that we had managed to get ourselves in the lava. No, we're going to use our warp stone to get out of here. I've got myself a brand new set of obsidian armor. And what we're going to do is actually just hang around here for a second, because we want squids to spawn in there. They could be spawning in the water. No one else is online, so pretty high chance that they're going to be spawning in the lava if that's possible. If we go down there and find nothing, I'm going to have to do some more testing. It could be that it's not actually patched in this one. Also, getting down to the bottom to find out, it's not going to be that problematic. And what do you know? We got some squids. Some ink sacs, but we didn't get any loot bags, did we? Mr. Iskow85, hi.
Hello there.
Hi, well, welcome to my base. It's a bit dingy down here, isn't it?
This is looking fantastic, dude.
You like this room?
Crap. Yeah, I love it, man. Except for the fact that you're a noob and using a quarry in Fullcraft. But,
dude, it's getting me diamonds for no effort at all, man.
Yeah,
it ain't no noob thing.
It's a little bit 1997 though, but okay. But no, dude, this is looking good, man. I haven't been here in a while, but this is.
You say that?
Busy.
You were here a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but you didn't have this room, or I didn't see it anyway.
Yeah, that one's done today. So you put down this chunk loader, which now I can open it, and now it says your name. Maybe I can open it because you're online. I think you fixed my power problem when you put that thing down, by the way.
So it was just a matter of loading the chunks.
Well, I thought I loaded every single chunk needed, right? If you go down below, there's a chunk loader down here. There's spot loaders over the other side. Like, I've gone everywhere where it looked like chunk loading was needed. Anyway, I think you've just fixed it by loading even more area. So thank you.
It was probably a cable somewhere or something. You know, it's always a bit.
Yeah, there's always one little thing you miss. So I kind of need your services again. I want to make this room feel a little bit more sealed over here, right? So I wanted to put a fancy entrance on it, and that is a pretty fancy looking entrance.
That is a fancy looking entrance.
That's
the same that Ren used. I love them.
They're cool, but you do see a little bit of the door over on this side, which kind of looks really odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can customize these doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you build a cooler looking door than that's 3 wide?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can build that advanced door. We can check it out. Do you have one of those door factories?
I do. Let's go up top.
This is going to be scary. I'm not promising anything because it's been a while since I played around with this thing.
Okay, you got to go up one more level. There it is. There's your door factory. And I'm gonna sleep so the night can go by.
I think the most you can do is 2 wide actually. But we'll try something out.
Even with this thing being custom.
Yeah, okay, let's just try some. Do you have some blocks? Just any block that we can try with?
Yep, loads in this crafting grid thing.
I'll just take something. So if you go, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here if you right click this thing, but if you go on the second tab called materials.
Yes. Oh, aha, I see stone over on the side.
Yeah, so let's say this here should create a door with an end stone frame and then stone in the top and the bottom slot.
Ah, I see, yes.
Then I'll go back to properties and you can select the movement. So for example, I think I've used the vault one. It's pretty cool.
Oh, vortex. Blooming hell, that sounds fancy.
Oh, you can make it disappear, man. Vanishing, that is the coolest. Let's use that. And then you can set the opening time. So we'll set that to 10 ticks. Very and then you can also do auto close. So if I do after 10 additional ticks, it will close, right?
10 is half a second.
10 is half a second. Let's put
it on 200, so 10 seconds.
200. Okay.
I see. There's a double door option, isn't there?
Yeah. So I don't know, but let's try the double door, and then I guess we'll put in some more material to make.
We could make 3 single doors, right? And they might look cool side by side.
Oh yeah, and then you may be able to link them together actually. Yeah, let's try that. So redstone behavior, do you want it to be like an iron door or a lock door or just
I'd say hand only. You just click on it and walk through.
Okay. Then you gotta select the sound, pneumatic, create.
Okay. Oh, I saw you create it. Excellent.
Yeah, so let's see what this bad boy does. Hoot. Oh,
whoa.
Oh, that is
that
sweet,
is
man.
sick. And then it'll sort itself out in a sec. Oh wow. Okay, so I tell
Oh,
you
they
what,
don't
I
open
tell you,
together,
I think this is favourable because you don't have to open all three, but having three of them side by side, they could look really cool, couldn't they?
Oh, they come back. Oh, that is so good. Yeah, I agree. Because you can make the frame, you can make it frameless, can't you?
Yes.
Let's try that.
Also,
If I
you've used two of the same material there. I'm gonna chuck in a different material. I want to see.
Yep.
Oh, I run out. Hang on, let me just grab some of that. See
I'll
what
put some
the
in.
three different things are. Ooh. Oh, it's top and bottom.
It's the ugliest door ever.
Yeah. World's ugliest door.
Oh, but it's good, man. Also, you could just you could build your side so just have vanishing doors. I think that looks pretty sweet.
Mate, I'm gonna play around with this a lot now.
You can also install a digicode. Check this out. This is cool. Let me create
Oh
a
yeah,
door.
yeah, yeah. You
This
got to enter
door
enter the
here.
code to get through.
Try and open it. Try it. You're not gonna know my code.
I know what your code is.
Oh,
No.
it's not gonna be 85. Did you try 85?
No, is it 86? Damn
No,
it! I
it's-
don't know what your code is.
It's LEET 1337 and then V.
Bam. Oh, and I locked it. Well, that's awesome, dude. Thank you for showing me that ever so much. I'll mess around with all the different textures and get a door installed, and it'll be super fancy. By the way, you give me an idea with these doors,
Uh-huh.
but I'm gonna save that for another day.
I just want to try one more thing before I leave you.
Yes.
I want to see what happens if we create the double door, right? I think they will open to... Oh, let's place it over here. I think they will open together. 1337 was the code? No, they don't. Okay, that's
Oh,
weird.
that's weird. Yeah.
But I
Oh.
mean, you could do a redstone. If you want all three to like activate, you could have a redstone pressure plate.
Oh, and a
then-
button. Yeah, yeah. Or
and a
like a
button.
button, or
Yep.
yes. That's a great idea. Or detect a player in a range.
Ooh, yeah, you could do that.
That's awesome,
Could
man.
do
I'm
that.
definitely gonna give that a try.
All right, dude. I'm happy I could help. I'm glad your power situation seems sorted because that's
Yes.
been a bother for you.
Thank you for fixing it.
No worries.
So I wanted to install a really cool door down here, and unfortunately I don't think this mod is actually going to do what I want. Now that right there, textures aside, doesn't look too great. The reason why I think you want an entrance that's 3x3. With it being lower, it just looks odd. And like I said, textures aside, we could always change this. But anyway, that is extremely satisfying. That sound as well, I'm pretty sure that's from the game Doom. It really sounds like the one on Doom, especially when it closes. Awesome. And of course you don't have to click on all three, you can just do the one in the middle, which never looks as good. But the ideal thing to do is to control this with redstone. And down the bottom here I've put in an entity detector from Draconic Evolution, and unfortunately this just isn't behaving very well at all. So initially, it's working now, is it? Initially it was pretty good. Maybe what I changed the wrong way around. Maybe actually I need to have it like that. Oh, okay, so thanks to that bat flying around, I now realise what it was originally detecting was a different mob in the area. So that right there would do the trick, wouldn't it? So I tried this thing here. It's on redstone only at the moment. I tried redstone lock, and that actually locks it with a redstone signal. I was hoping it might mean the inverted state of activating it with redstone. So if we go real close to it, should open. Or is that not close enough for the entity detector? So I've had to change the redstone around a little bit. And there you go, it opens, but I turned this down. So in my configuring of this thing, it just happened to work the first time when I was nearby, but I did this the wrong way around. So we're not going to worry about that. Let's going to set that now to 5 blocks. Then we're going to step back, and then this is what it's like if we were walking towards it. A little bit slow, a little bit on the slow side. And then it should shut of its own accord. I like that. It needs some tinkering. It needs some work, that's for sure. Opened pretty swiftly that time when I walked towards it, didn't it? Let's keep walking. Now initially we had these repeaters here because it was sending out a pulse, but now it sends out a solid signal. We could do it just like that, which would be slightly faster, and I don't think... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, is that the shortest that it goes? That's a shame. Be nice to make that smaller. Well, maybe we'll make the range slightly bigger, and let's just do that one more time. Here we go. Nope, still not that great, is it? Anyway, over here you can see that there is a new thing with loot bags, and the numbers are going up and down because actually I borrowed that dimensional transceiver it's hooked up to power this door. So I haven't made up my mind on this project yet, but we're just investigating it. So I'm going to take that, and I've accidentally destroyed the redstone, so we're going to fix this. And this is for interacting with the loot bags channel that we got hooked up over there, because we are going to do a little project with loot bags now, something that I wanted to do from day one. And on my first day on the server, or maybe it was my second day, I was killing squids and getting loot bags from them. And so I made a little note that a squid farm would be a really cool idea. Now this thing has been running for a long time, so expect to see a ton of ink sacs when we get down the bottom here. Yep, and unfortunately, no loot bags. Well, it turns out that passive animals don't drop loot bags. They're not supposed to, and whatever I saw in the first patch of the game when we first started playing, I don't know, but it made its way onto my notes list. We eventually got around to it, and now this farm is completely useless. I've turned it off. Not even the ink sacs are useful because, of course, we've already got our dyes sorted out with the flower farm that we built a few episodes back. But anyway, over here you'll notice that things are disappearing as we move them over to the central area, the main area, and the loot bag processing area we had here has been dismantled as well. And that's because we're going to make a little room for it. And when I stand here, sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. It's really finicky. From different places in the base, you either can or can't see that one. Like, we can't see it right now, so if we go back up to the top, hopefully we'll be able to see it again, yeah. And we can make our way over here. So, first of all, cool little thing for you. That lava and water right there is directly above this old thing that we dug out a few episodes back. To think we were like 1 block away from exposing all of this stuff up here, although I don't think we would have broken anything. Yikes. Someone down there is having a bad day. So, we got tons of loot bags stored over here. The whole cobblestone gen thing has been disabled though. And I've got a big chest over here. I actually built this on this side and I couldn't get the front of the chest to face forward. It was facing that way. So I thought, well, why don't we go build it over here, and then it decides it wants to face that way. But actually that's probably better because this is going to be visual. We're going to have a cable that plugs into here, and the idea is that all the loot bags are going to be processed through this chest right here. The reason why is because I want to get everything you can actually get from these loot bags actually like in one place, so we can then create a filtering system for deleting all the stuff that we don't want and keeping the good things that we want, like, you know, iron ingots and gold ingots and stuff like that. So I felt like separating it from the other system would be the best way to go. So this is where our dimensional transceiver comes in. It's going to be powering the controller. It's got a grid on it, and we need to obviously attach an external storage system over here to get started. And then what we'll be doing is basically bringing all the loot bags to here. So my plans for the loot bag system are quite complex, and I've just noticed the episode length and realised there's a few more things that I wanted to do. So coming back to this, I hinted at something we were going to do over here. You can probably tell what that's going to be. This is now hooked up to its own dimensional transceiver, which is the doors channel. It's got its own sign. I'll show you that in a second. This thing right here though needs to be activated, and I believe we can just ignore it. Wait, I have to do something. Do I have to click on this thing? I've forgotten how we set it off. Oh, you just left click on it. So this is a shield projector from RF Tools. We've used this before, but doesn't that look seriously cool? You can't enter because there's a shield, and we can't go through it. We could actually set this up so we'd be the only player to be able to go through it, which would be kind of cool. And what I think I might do is actually make 2 of these, because at the moment there is a gap in the floor so that the blocks can come around and connect to this thing. And I don't think it uses a lot of power. So we could have 2 of them, then we could have a cable on either side, and I don't know. It's all customizable. It's all subject to change. Let's see how much it's using at the moment. So that's the kind of RF per tick we can expect. Somewhere around 100 going up and down. Our loot bag system is only pulling 10 RF per tick at the moment, which is strange because there are 2-dimensional transceivers, which should mean 20 at a minimum. Let's hop over there, because this thing... well, oh, I know why. It's because I changed the name of the channel. I actually made a spelling mistake. Right, so now it should receive, or sorry, take another 10 plus this, which is another 3. And you can see I've dropped some stuff up over here. And yeah, connected that stuff up. That's what I've done. We'll come back to that project another time. Now we should see 23 RF per tick being drawed over here. 24. Excellent. That's great. Now, in my inventory, you shall see we've got a stack of these, which I just crafted. And these ones I've pinched from all of the lava generation system that we had over the other side. So now that Iskall's whacked this thing down, he's obviously loaded something that I missed. So for all those times that I double checked, trying to use as little of these things as I could, as like fewer amount of spot loaders, just setting this to a large area was the way to go. 289 chunks. I think I tried to load it with like 7 or something like that. Anyway, what we're going to do in this area is divide these things up into all of these so that they can operate faster and we can be more reliant on these types. However, what I don't think I'm going to do is put too many on these ones over the back, because I want the system to rely on the slime balls that we get from these trees rather than from the mobs, because I got a feeling they might be a little bit more laggier. Then again, they also produce loot bags, and we're building a loot bag system. They could take the loot bags and sort them out, because I do actually want to farm more of them. Oh, maybe I'll just put it all on those ones then. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to do it right now because it'll make more sense once we start working on the loot bag project. So I think it is time for me to wrap things up. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like. As always, thank you for your support on these videos, and I will see you in the next episode of Fullcraft. Ciao for now. Bye bye.